Hey everyone, it's your girl Maddie here, aka Beaver Mosh, and today I am talking to you about 2 years of grief from the Chile based project Rise to the Sky, and this is coming off of Tragedy Productions. And this is the 7th studio album under this project name from the highly prolific Sergio Gonzalez Catalan. And here on this record, we are met with some brilliantly bleak death doom carried through an exceptionally emotional atmosphere. The music here will crush you. It has riffs, for sure, do not worry, but also it will make you feel this intense sense of solemnness. And it will communicate to you deeply these feelings of loss and mourning and this just deep melancholy. It's really gripping stuff. The band incorporates a lot of symphonic elements and gothic ideas in just the right amount. Doesn't overburden the music, but gives it a lot of great color. On Funeral for My Home, we get these ghostly, sorrowful, and just darkly beautiful keys. It's very dramatic and sobering. And then when the strings meet that, it's almost could be too much, but it isn't. It never crosses that line. Just enough of that gothic solemnness. And then it's held that way just long enough to win the rolling drums and that first crushing riff hits. It just feels that much heavier and that much more impactful emotionally. The lead plays these melancholic, sustained notes that feel like they are crying over the music, and it works really well with this deeply sensed, downtrodden coat to Sergio's highly pronounced death growls. And the music does speed up a bit. You could see these drums moving into these double bass runs, only to have it slow down again to this almost droning pace. This is something that this project does a lot and does really well. On Burdened by Grief, these erupting guitars that are very heavy on the low end just kind of rush into your headspace with such a commanding force. And it's met with these spinning licks that just feel so unsettled and crazed, while the drums come through with these lively hopping patterns that are played with such an aggression. But the track does slow down to this extreme gloom and depression, and god damn is Rise to the Sky good at that. Just this bleak, dark mood that really isn't easy to create, even though it kind of sounds like it when you listen to this record. You know, the band uses these symphonic elements to stir up a lot of meditative feelings, just enough to where it doesn't overtake the track or feel too sappy. They really found that line here. On I Knew That Joy Will Die, the strings lead you in gracefully. It just feels so broken. And this is a trick that Rise to the Sky likes and uses a lot. And I don't care, because it's a really good trick. I'm a sucker for it. The band will then often use this to lead into something so crushingly heavy just to bring it back down to something very ghostly and haunting and have this ambience. It almost has like a film score feel to it in its pacing and just overall composition and trajectory. The drums are so minimalist here, but in a way where every little cymbal hit and drum kick is just felt with amplified power. And Sergio's voice lets out these reverberating bellows. They're raspy and harsh and definitely of death metal. But also, you can sense a lot of soul carrying them. It's just wonderful. Becoming flesh and bone is almost funeral doom. The riffs hit, they hit hard, and they stay. While you are left just gasping. Especially with how these string melodies sit on top, clearly communicating this desperation. The drums here again are just so effective. It has a snap and a punch to them. And just everything about the percussion is perfectly in the mix to where it all feels like it's bouncing off of your gut. And I love on this track how everything feels like it's building in theatrics and intensity. While the vocals seem to be harmonizing with everything, it's pretty moving stuff. The title track starts with this spoken word passage over these disastrously beautiful pianos. And it leads way into these very gripping, cleanly sung vocals and this acoustic strumming. This is definitely not a metal tune, but it fits very well as this interlude, as it carries this very broken and somber tone that the record has been bringing you along for this entire time. It almost feels like it's just coming in at the right time. This album as a whole has a very impressive flow. Doesn't just have rises and falls within the track, and you'll notice especially just how like these acoustic parts will bleed into the next track that I'll talk about. It all kind of runs together and goes through peaks and valleys. As an entire composition, this album is really meant to be consumed as one piece. Can't Hide from Pain brings us these punishing doom riffs with a burdensome melodic bent. And the vocals do this half death growl, half sung thing that I really enjoy. It's heavy but equally somber. Okay. It was this moment on the album that I'm going to talk about. And it was on my second listen where it clicked. And when this clicked, I think the entire album made sense for me. I enjoyed this a lot on my first listen, but it was those repeat listens where everything just revealed itself to me, and it was this crescendoing conclusion to the track where the drums begin to rise in velocity and violence, and the guitars begin to play these flickering, winding riffs while the vocals just scream out in pure pain. At this same time, the symphonic elements are bringing together a lot of color. It's so metal, it's so dark, but it's also so moving and felt. It's just a home run moment that I adored. From my blood, I bring you home. What a song title. This concluding track is probably the most atmospheric, with these long, buzzing chords, these very focused drums and somber strings. Really, you should just sit there and absorb the gloomy fog that Rise to the Sky is creating here. And maybe cry a bit. Not maybe, you will. That is going to happen to you. Just don't fight it. And finally, the ending solo here is just really well played with these weeping bands, these flickering hammer-ons, and it's all filtered through a very crisp tone. It's really tasteful stuff. So if you like and are drawn to the more goth-leading, somber side of Death Doom, I think this record will do a lot for you. It's a very heavy record, but also a very moving and deeply felt one too, which is something I find very compelling, and also just, it's sad. It's a sad album. If you are someone that is drawn to and really enjoys dark, but sincere and emotionally rich music, emotionally rich metal, then you're gonna love this. And Doom fans of all varieties, I think, will at least be intrigued and want to see what this project offers. So there's my recommendation. And if you like what I do, if you enjoyed this video, tell me. Hit that like button. It'd mean the world to me if you'd consider subscribing. Leave a comment. I love getting to engage with those. I have a Twitter you can follow. Link to that is in the bio of this YouTube channel. And hey, keep it metal. My name is Maddie, aka Beaver Mosh, and I am signing off.